Well, hello everybody. This is John Unell, aka John I Fly. Let's hope I'm in the picture here, camera. From Schuylkill Haven, Pennsylvania. And I hope everybody had a good Monday. It is Monday, about 7:32 p.m. Eastern Time over here. I just got back from taking a walk. So, just wanted to share a little bit today. Not too much on the agenda, but basically I'm going to just talk about the shootings, the recent shootings that we've been getting of late. It's like our country's going nuts. I don't know how else to put it. But anyway, one good thing is that they had a hearing, I believe it was last week, and Derek Chauvin, who was a police officer from Minneapolis, who had his neck on George Floyd. He, for get this, 9 minutes and 29 seconds. For the longest time, they were saying it was over 8 minutes, but no, it was 9 minutes and 29 seconds. So they had a trial. They went through everything. The prosecution had their opening statements. You couldn't have done a better job, I'll tell you what. The prosecution proved it. They hit it out of the park. It was so obvious. Anybody common sense that looked at that video could tell that Derek Chauvin was the one responsible for his death. So anyway, the jury came back with the verdict. It took about 10 hours, over 2 days. And he was found guilty on all 3 counts. Now I have here, he was found guilty of unintentional second-degree murder. I question that unintentional, by the way. When he had his neck on George Floyd's neck, he was looking right at the people who were videotaping him on the sidewalk. He had that look on his face like, look at me, I'm the one in charge now. He didn't give a shit about Mr. Floyd's life ebbing out of him, even though George kept saying, please, I can't breathe. Well, anyway, that was the one charge, unintentional second-degree murder he was guilty of. He was also guilty of third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. Now, the state guidelines for Minnesota says for what is it here? Second-degree unintentional murder. The state guidelines recommend 12.5 years, 12.5 years. But depending on the mitigating or aggravating circumstances, and it will be the aggravating circumstances, the prosecution could push for the maximum, which would be 40 years. I don't think he's going to get 40 years, but I think he's going to get at least 20. Because he had no regard for Mr. Floyd whatsoever. None. I just can't understand it. He had his hands were already cuffed behind his back. What more could he do? You know? But no, he had to be Mr. Big Shot. I'm the man in power here. And he kept his knee on George's neck. And the thing is, you could tell people could see on the sidewalk. And I remember watching it on the video here. When he suddenly went limp, he tried to breathe. He tried to adjust his body to breathe. He couldn't breathe. And he kept saying, I can't breathe. And the cop didn't care. So now he's going to pay the price. In 8 weeks now, the judge will actually sentence him. The jury could have done it, but the defense decided to opt for the judge, hoping that the judge will show mercy. It's amazing because Derek didn't show mercy to George, not one bit. So that was at least good news there. There's justice. They can't bring George back, but at least they got justice. But there's been just so many shootings not long after that. There's another shooting. I think of the shooting that was in Atlanta. I believe it was a 19-year-old kid. I call him kid. 19-year-old guy who killed 8 people. 6 of them were women of Asian descent in 3 health spas he went to. Traveled to one spot, shot them up, and then he went to another one. Three health spas. And then I believe his excuse was, well, you know, these shops are doing things that are sexually illegal, and basically he's saying I couldn't help myself, you know, they're helping me to sin by doing this stuff, so I had to get rid of them. That's the gist of it. What the hell? Unbelievable. Now that was back in March, I believe. And then there was some, I think he was 19 years old. Another African-American fellow was shot. Oh no, it might have been, I don't know, it might have been 13, 14, I don't know. There's been so many of them I get confused, to be quite honest with you. But he was shot, and he already had his hands up in the air. Go figure. They claimed that he had a gun, so there was a gun found. So they think he might have dropped it, but still, I don't know. Anymore, it just seemed you really have to be careful as a policeman. I mean, they always say, when I was growing up, there's both sides to a story. And I'm sure there are instances where the police officer has no choice. He warns them, drop the gun, put your hands up, or get on the ground, and they refuse. And there's an element of surprise there. They don't always know if the person has a gun. What kills me is when they're running away and they get shot. That's unbelievable. That's uncalled for. I remember that one case was in, I think, South Carolina. Guy was running away from the cop, a black fella, and he was shot right in the back. That should not be. Using a gun should be a last resort. A last resort. You have a taser. Plus, you're also trained as a police officer in different forms of combat and how to take a person down. You know? If they don't have a gun, like if they even have a knife, I know they have self-defense courses, how you can take that knife off of somebody without getting hurt. If each case is it's a case-by-case basis. You never know what you're going to face next. So my heart goes out to the policemen too when they have to make a choice, and it's legitimate that they have to take the person out. But these past few shootings, I don't see them being legitimate. It's crazy. That one lady that said she thought that she pulled a taser out and she had a gun. Unbelievable. Now today, they had the attorney on for Andrew Brown. He was 42. He was fatally shot last Wednesday. Now they're saying that, according to the death certificate they released today, that was because it was a single gunshot wound to the back of his head. But the story, as it goes, was that he was Andrew Brown was backing out, I think of his driveway, if I'm not mistaken. The police had served an arrest warrant on him, and he wasn't having any of that, and he backed out, and he started to take off because he didn't want to be arrested, and the police shot at him. As a matter of fact, they said that the car was riddled with bullets. So anyway, the attorney for Andrew Brown and the family, they went in and they were shown, they demanded to see the body cam of the shooting. Well, it ended up they only got to see a short 20-second clip. Can you imagine? They wanted to see more. Last I heard, they were supposed to, I don't know, file charges or motion. I don't know if they saw enough or they want to see more. My understanding is they were redacting some of the video. They were editing it. And the attorney for the Browns said, no, we want to see it as it is. Well, I don't think they're going to see it as it is. That makes me wonder, are the police hiding something? That's what the attorney for Andrew Brown said. They want to know, what are you afraid of? What are you hiding? Let's see the whole clip. Well, I don't know. I don't think they're going to see the whole clip, and if they do see the clip, it's going to be redacted, going to be edited out. So, according to the attorney, he said Andrew Brown was executed. Well, so we're going to have to see what's going to go on here. I think they're going to pursue something next Monday. He may file motions. But it's been crazy. It's been insane what's been happening of late. I hope that everybody's getting their vaccine shots too. I got my second one on the 17th of April. So this coming week, once it's done, it'll be 2 weeks that I will have had the shot. So hopefully now I can be able to go out a little more and maybe start to eat at a restaurant again. I should have some good immunity. But anyway, that's about all I have. I didn't get this out on Saturday or last week, but I was finally able to sit down today and do it. Spring's here, such nice weather, and one of these days I gotta figure out how to go live on this. I would like to do a few live programs. I have to download certain software or whatever, I don't know. I'll figure it out somehow or whatever, but yeah, just stay safe out there, people. If you haven't gotten your vaccine yet, do so. Came on the news today that many people who got their first shot are hesitating to get the second one. Well, you get the second one because it's going to give you full immunity. Probably 90-some%. I'm not sure if it's 94% or whatever. If you don't get the second shot, you're only going to get a certain amount of immunity. I don't know if it's like 50-some% or whatever. You don't want to just stay with the one shot unless you're getting that Johnson & Johnson. They put that back out in the market again with a warning now for women, I think 50 years or younger, with the clotting aspect, but they said it's so rare. In any event, I got the Pfizer, and that requires 2. Moderna, I believe, also requires 2 shots. Get it. It's worth it, and you're not spreading anything to somebody else. In the long run, if you get your vaccines, it's going to make it much faster that we can return to some normal life. People don't realize this. They sit there and, oh, I don't want to have to do that. The government's telling me to do this and that. I have my rights. These people, I tell you, makes me wonder, how the hell were they raised? I mean, what type of parents would raise these? Come on. When I was growing up, you had to get your vaccinations. You got your vaccinations. When I went to school as a toddler or as a youngster, I had to get a vaccine. I didn't have a choice about that. Got one in my arm. I was ready to go. The same now. Come on, people. We're adults. I personally would like to live as long as possible. When somebody refuses to take the vaccine, they have total disregard for everybody around them. It's as simple as that. So, if you haven't gotten your vaccine yet for coronavirus, get it. It's worth it. I am so glad I got my 2 shots now. Had a little bit of a reaction on the second shot. I felt a little lousy. Had a low-grade fever. My ears were hot. No, it wasn't because somebody was talking about me. I don't think they were anyway. But, yeah, I was a little... I got it on a Saturday. I think it was Sunday. I went up to Hawk Mountain, which is a raptor conservation site down the road from me, about 12 miles. And I was kind of feeling shitty, to be honest with you. Wasn't that bad, but I wasn't myself. And then I went home and relaxed. And by Monday, I was feeling a little better. But it's worth it. It's worth it. So anyway, remember, we still do have the pandemic going on. Wash your hands, at least for 22 seconds. Wear your mask. And even if you got vaccinated, wear your mask if you're going to be indoors. Now they're saying the president's going to come out tomorrow, so stay tuned about this. He's going to give some recommendations, I guess, or rules or whatever, on those who have been fully vaccinated. I've seen already in the one baseball game they played, people had to come in there to show proof that they were fully vaccinated. And then they didn't have to worry about social distancing because everybody was vaccinated is in one section of the stadium, of the ball stadium. And this is going to be gradually, slowly but surely, but we need to keep taking the vaccinations. I really feel bad for the people in India. They're really, really having it bad right now. So I heard too on CNN that they're probably going to send quite a few vaccine doses over to India. I didn't get the full thing. I think it's called Adina or something. I forget the name of the company. That's the one. They don't have that. We're not using it in this country, so they're going to send it over to India. So anyway, let's hope they can get those people vaccinated ASAP, because it's devastating. The one hospital, they already ran out of beds over in India. And India has it rough to begin with. They just have it rough. Conditions over there aren't always the best. So anyway, thanks for taking the time for listening to me. Again, like I said, wash your hands, wear your mask, and social distance. And working together, we'll see this virus defeated. Okay, have a great Monday night, and hopefully maybe later in the week I can do another rant. Have a good night, and I will talk to you soon. Good night.